Okay, so chapter 3 of Case for a Creator. Putting Kalam to the test. Remember, the Kalam argument is 1. Everything has a beginning has a cause. 2. The universe has a beginning. 3. So the universe has a cause. Everything that has a beginning has a cause. The Kalam argument says that nothing new is created without being caused. Try it at home. Your mom says something like, "Who made these muddy footprints on the carpet?" You shrug and say, "I don't know." Your brothers and sisters just look at one another innocently. What does your mother say? "Well, they didn't just get there by themselves." The next time she says that, congratulate her for applying the Kalam argument. Everything that has a beginning has a cause. The footprints began to exist at a point in time, so they must have a cause. This point makes sense, but a few scientists are stubborn about their pop start theory. They speculate that the particles that make up the universe could have just popped out of nowhere from a certain kind of vacuum. A vacuum is usually defined as a totally empty space. So who's right? A professor named William Lane Craig has thought about this for a long time. The vacuum that those scientists are talking about, he says, is not exactly a big bunch of nothing, the way you imagine in the jar. This vacuum is full of everything and energy. The vacuum and the energy locked up in the vacuum would have been the cause of those particles appearing, if that's what happened. So that raises a very important question. Who or what would have created this energy in the first place? Certainly, its existence needs an explanation. And suddenly you're back to the beginning of how the world got here. After all, this energy would seem to have needed a creator. One thing seems like common sense, though. As far as human experience goes, nothing simply pops into existence on its own, out of nothing. That elephant on your roof can't appear out of nowhere. So the first step of the Kalam argument holds up. The universe has a beginning. When the scientists study all the facts and figures, and this can get pretty complicated, they become convinced that the universe had a beginning. And if there truly was a beginning, then there truly must be a cause. Just like the elephant on your roof didn't just pop into existence, the universe didn't create itself. There must be something or someone who caused the Big Bang to go kablooey. Here's how the Bible explains where it started. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. For thousands of years, the Bible and its readers have insisted that there was a first moment when the universe came into existence. But only in the last 100 years or so have scientists discovered all the clues really do point toward the universe having a beginning. What about the proof? There are two kinds of evidence that the universe had a beginning: mathematical points and scientific points. Doing the math. Imagine you're going to a new movie on opening day. The line for tickets wraps around the edge of the mall and goes out of sight. It's infinite. That means goes on forever. There would have to be people standing in that line as far back as you could check. In fact, there would be no beginning or end at all. Just trillions upon trillions of people trying to get into the same movie theater. And they're in trouble because there's only so much popcorn. Of course, there couldn't be an endless line of people. In the same way, the universe couldn't just stretch into the past forever, because the events could not go farther and farther into the past forever. But another word for forever is infinity, an endless supply. The problem is that it's hard to talk about infinity because everything we can see and touch has limits. Here's another example of the absurdity of an infinite number of things. Let's say you have an infinite number of baseball cards. They go on forever. And you give 10 million of your forever baseball cards to your friend. You'd still have as many cards as you did before you gave those cards away. Crazy, huh? Well, the idea that the universe is infinitely old is just as non-essential. doing the science. The math people show us numbers. The scientists show us the clues, and the clues from science includes measurements that researchers have done with high-tech instruments point to our universe beginning with a bang. As a matter of fact, nearly all of today's scientists believe in the great explosion of light at the first moment of this universe life. So to review the Coulomb points, everything that has a beginning has a cause, and the universe has a beginning. All you have to do is add up those 2 points to discover, point number 3, the universe has a cause. Just as you would expect something as big as the universe had to start somewhere. Think about it. You hear a bang from your bedroom, and your sister asks, "What was that?" You reply from the living room, "Nothing." Actually, you don't want her to know it's the stray elephant you sneaked into your bedroom, hoping to keep him for a pet. But your sister says that bang had to come from something, and of course, she's remembering the third part of the Coulomb argument. Now, here's something to ponder. If a little bang had to have a cause, what about one as big as, well, everything altogether? What kind of cause could have started the entire universe? It must have been powerful, right? It must have been smart, too, in order to make the explosion work just right. It must have been creative to come up with such a cool idea. It must have been timeless, because time wasn't even created until the Big Bang happened. It must have been immaterial, or without physical body. In other words, a spirit. That sounds familiar. That's a pretty good start to describing God. Could it be that Mr. Axiom, your science teacher, and Mrs. Homily, your Sunday school teacher, are both right? Details may differ, but they each agree that the universe was suddenly born in a flash of light at some point in the past. And logic tells you that the best explanation for all of this is a cause that looks suspiciously like the God in the Bible. Wanted, dead or alive. Okay, so from the clues you read about in the universe points to a beginning, and it points to someone who had to be there to start things up. But couldn't he have left the building? All you can say is that at some point there was a God. Science and mathematics point there, but no further, right? Not exactly. Consider these points. If someone is strong enough to create this whole universe, wouldn't he have to be strong enough to remain alive? Since he made the laws of nature, how could anything in them cause his death? You'll read later in the book how there is actually evidence that God is alive and well and still at work in his creation. Many scientists, like other people, say they get their clues about the Creator by knowing him as a friend. They point to many things that happen in their lives and in the world that show a Creator is alive and well. You still have a lot to read about. It's time to take a look at physics and astronomy. And we'll start with that next time. Thanks, guys.